All right, this is 9.2 called Lines of Fit. This section is very short. If you look in the textbook, it goes into a graphing calculator section that we are going to skip. So if this seems like a very short lesson, it's because it's half of one. So a line of fit is a line drawn in a scatter plot close to most of the data points. Okay, so if I have a bunch of data points like this, okay, if you're drawing a line of best fit, you're drawing a line that represents the estimation of all of these dots. So example 1, we need to use the chart to the right over here explaining months and the depth in feet, which is y. Okay, so part A says to sketch a scatter plot of the data. Now I realize it doesn't look like I gave you that much room, and I apologize. So I'm going to go to a new slide. You may get out another sheet of paper. You may find another space to sketch your scatter plot. Okay, but basically you need months on, oh, that's too big. What is going on? You need months on the bottom, and you also need depth on the y-axis. Okay, so what is happening? Hold on. All right, sorry about that. And so now we need to sketch our scatter plot. So make sure months are on your x, depth is on your y, and then I can start. So our first point is 0, 20. So 0 up to 20. And next point is 119 to 15. 3 is at 13. 4, 11. 5, 10. 6, 8. 7, 7. And 8, 5. Okay, so as you will probably notice, if you try to connect these dots, it's not going to make a perfectly straight line. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to make a line of best fit. Okay, and we are just estimating, and when you estimate, you want as many dots on top of the line as on the bottom of the line. Okay, and what I mean by that is we know it starts, it hits the Y-intercept, so I know it's going to be directly on there. And as I draw this line, go back. As I draw this line, you want to make sure that there are dots below the line and dots above the line. Okay, so when I draw this, I am just going to estimate. Okay, and we're going to see how I did. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 above, and 1, 2, 3-ish below. Okay, and that is completely fine. They're never going to look perfect. I never would ask you for them to be perfect, so just do the best you can. And that's your line of best fit. So part B is to write an equation, and that needs to be in the form of y equals mx plus b. Okay, I get my b from the graph. It hits right at 20. Okay, so I know b is 20. Now I need to find my slope. Okay, and the way you do that is by picking points that it goes directly through. So one point that I know it goes directly through is this 0, 20. Another point when looking at my graph, I see that it goes through 4, 11. Now keep in mind, if your line does not look identical to mine, go ahead and pick 2 different points. Okay, as long as it's relatively close to the slope that it should be, I'm never going to penalize you for that. So finding slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is 9 over negative 4, which turns out to be negative 2.25, or you can leave it as 9 over 4. Okay, but whatever slope you pick, whatever points you did, just make sure it's kind of close to that. So writing my slope, it would be y equals negative 9 over 4x plus 20. Okay, if I'm interpreting the slope and the y-intercept, this is what you guys, excuse me, struggled with back a couple chapters ago. So we need to, in order to interpret these two things, we need to think about it in the context of the problem. Okay, so the slope is about negative 2.25 or 9 over negative 4. Okay, as long as your slope is around negative 2, that is perfect. So if I'm interpreting the slope, that means it decreases by about 2 feet per month. Okay, so decreases 2 feet per month. And in order to know that, you need to look at the problem. You can also read it again. It shows the depth of a river X months after the monsoon season ends. Okay, so the y-intercept is 0.20 right here. Okay, so 0 months after the monsoon ends, there's 20 feet of water. So that's how I would interpret the y-intercept. So 0 months after the monsoon, the river is 20 feet. All right, this next problem, there's our graph. This next problem is the on your own, okay? So I do want you to do this problem completely on your own. Sketching the scatter plot, writing an equation. Keep in mind it doesn't have to be perfect or exactly like another person in your class. Okay, interpreting the slope and y-intercept, and then I want you to predict the number of people who will attend the festival in 10 years. So I will give you a couple guidelines here. Down here I want years. Okay, so I want 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 8. And then your attendance starts at 420, and then goes up to 2,400. So think about some ways you could count by. So I maybe would count by 400, and this would be 800 and 1,200 and so on. Okay, so do that one on your own, and I will see you tomorrow.